Hello, my dear student. It's grammar time. Present simple by Mrs. Shireen Sabri. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify the present simple tense, uses and forms, affirmative, negative, and question, and also recognize the adverbs of frequency.
Uses of present simple. We use the present simple for things that never change, like facts. For example, my name is Ali. It's a fact. Apples grow on trees. It's a fact. You can never find one day that oranges grow on an apple tree. The sun rises in the east. It's a fact also. Another use for present simple is for habits, things that you do in your life every day. I always put milk in my coffee. Another use is routines. Nada goes swimming twice a week. Another use also is the permanent situations. For example, when you talk about your job, I work as a teacher. It's a career. You can't change your job every day. Another use for the present simple is to talk about future, but in one condition, for fixed schedule events like transportations, banks, stores, theaters, lessons, and appointments. For example, the movie starts at 7 p.m. tonight. It's a fixed schedule time. Another example, my interview's appointment is next week. Forms of present simple: affirmative, negative, and question. The affirmative form of present simple. First, let's talk about verb to be. It is a common verb in English, so we call it the king of the verbs. The form of verb to be in the present simple is am, or is, or are. It depends on the subject pronoun that we use. For example, I am a teacher or I'm a teacher. The short form of am is apostrophe M. We are students. They are excited, or you're from Canada. Note that the contraction of are is apostrophe re. With the third singular person, he, she, or it, we use is. He is my father. She is Egyptian. It's a cat. The short form of is apostrophe s. With the other verbs, with I, we, they, and you, we use the base verb. I like, we like, they like, you like. But with the third singular person, he, she, or it, we add an s to the verb. He likes, she likes, it likes. Another verb with go. I, we, they, and you, we use the base verb go. But with he, she, or it, we add an es to the verb. He goes, she goes, it goes. The spelling rules. With the third person singular, he, she, or it, we add an s to the base form of the verb. For example, walks, tastes, swims, sits, loves. Number 2, if the base form of the verb ends with ch, sh, s, o, or z, we add an es to the verb. For example, watch, watches, fix, fixes, mess, messes, go, goes, wash, washes, quiz, quizzes. Number 3, when the verb ends with y and there is a consonant before it, we drop the y and add an i-e-s. Example, fly, flies, study, studies. Number 4, when the verb ends with y and there is a vowel before it, we will not drop it and we just add an s. Example, play, plays. a negative form. With verb to be, add not to the verb. Example, I am not a teacher, or the short form is I'm not a teacher. They are not excited, or you can use the short form you aren't excited, just add an apostrophe T, or were not excited, apostrophe RE plus not. With the third person, he, she, or it, we add not to. She is not Egyptian, or the short form we add an apostrophe T. He isn't Egyptian, or she's not Egyptian. You can use any of these two short forms, but the most common to use is isn't or aren't. What about other verbs? We use do not or does not plus the base verb. With I, we, they, and you, we use do plus not plus the base form of the verb. I do not study, or the short form we don't study. Just add an apostrophe T. They don't study, you don't study. With the third person, he, she, or it, remove the S and use does not plus the base form of the verb. Does not study. Use the base form, we remove the IES. She doesn't study. The short form is does plus N apostrophe T. Doesn't study. It doesn't fly. The question form with verb to be, all what you have to do with the yes or no question to start with the form of verb to be plus the subject. For example, am I next in line? Are they excited? Are you busy? Is she a teacher? What about other verbs? With the other verbs, for yes or no question, we use do or does plus the subject plus the base form. Do you study hard? Do they play tennis? Does she cook the dinner? For the WH question, we use verb to be plus subject. For example, how are you? Where are they? What is she? With the other verbs, WH question plus do or does plus subject plus the base verb. How do you go to school? Where do they park the car? What does she do? There are sometimes expressions when we see them in a sentence, we know that we talk in present simple, like every day, every week, every month, every year, every summer, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, once a week, 3 times a day, twice a month, at the weekend, in June, on Wednesday, on Mondays. Adverbs of frequency. The first one is always. When you see always in a sentence, you know that you do this action 100%. For example, you are always late. The next one, usually. It means that you do this action 90%. We usually go to the cinema. Often, 70%. He often cooks pasta. Sometimes, 50%. We sometimes order pizza for dinner. Hardly ever or rarely, 10%. She hardly ever smiles. Never, it's 0%. They are never at home when we call. But attention, these adverbs always come after verb to be. In the affirmative form, we say, we are always late. And to negate the sentence, all what you have to do to remove always and use never. We are never late. And to make a question, we use the question form, how often are you late? What about the other verbs? These adverbs of frequency come before the other verbs. In the affirmative form, we say, he often cooks pasta. And in the negative, the same. We remove often or any of these adverbs and replace them with never. He never cooks pasta. For the question form, we use WS the question, how often does he cook pasta? Finally, we have reached the end of our lesson. Let's recap what we said. First, the present simple. We use the present simple for facts. The earth goes around the sun. It's a fact. This costs $20. It's a fact. Or for regular actions or habits, I go to school every day. He works in this company. For the affirmative form, we use the base form with the subject pronoun I, we, you, and they, but with he, she, it, or for names, we add an s or es or ies to the verb. He does, she makes, it takes, Jane plays. Spelling rules. We add only s, make, makes, read, reads, play, plays, work, works. But if the verb ends with s, sh, ch, xo, or z, we add an es. Do, does, go, goes, pass, passes, push, pushes, watch, watches, fix, fixes. And if the verb ends with y, we drop the y and add an ies. Fly, flies, try, tries. Or verb to have, it has two forms. With I, we, you, and they, we use the base form have. With he, she, and it, we use has. For the negative form, with I, we, you, and they, we use do not or don't. I don't. I don't do. We don't make. You don't take. They don't play. With he, she, it, or for names like Jane, we use doesn't. He doesn't do, she doesn't make, it doesn't take, Jane doesn't play. For the question form, with the WH question or with yes or no question, we use do for these subject pronoun I, you, they, or we. What do I do? Where do you take? Why do they make? But with he, she, or it, or names, we use does. Which does he see? Who does she hear? When does it feel? Thank you for listening. Bye-bye. Have a good day.